Hi everyone, I'm Maria, tech recruiter, and I'm starting a LinkedIn series where I interview women in STEM about what they build, how they got into tech, and what their careers actually look like. I figured the best way to start the series was by interviewing one of my closest friends, someone I've known for years, my friend Maria. Maria, would you like to tell them a little bit about yourself, just one sentence about what you're currently doing?
Yeah, so I'm currently a talent investor at Entrepreneurs First, where I look for exceptional people who would like to start a company, and we help them go through the process and raise a seed round in San Francisco, in California.
Amazing. So before we get into tech, I kind of just want to go into a little bit about your career. So could you describe your journey in 3 words?
Oh, yeah, computers, programming, and I have to say AI.
Did you see yourself always working in tech, or how did you end up here?
Yes, actually, when I was very young, I started changing PCs in iPhones and BlackBerry. I used to have BlackBerry back when it was famous. And I was always very interested in software. I was always the tech person, the tech friend that people would go to when they needed help, even the teachers, when they didn't know how to connect to the projector or something. And then I had a math teacher who basically drilled into my head the fact that I had to study AI, and I'm so grateful for it. I always had really good teachers, and I think they pushed me to build in tech, and yeah, I think I always knew I wanted to be in this area.
So you started your career doing data engineering, and you now transitioned to working with founders, but I'd love to focus on kind of how you started building, and then we can go into what your current position is. How did you first get into STEM?
I tried to get into uni for computer science and AI, but I ended up just taking a computer science undergrad in Scotland, and then after that I focused a lot during my thesis to work on AI. Actually, my cousin got me an online course to do AI for my birthday. So nerdy, but that was what got me into AI, and I'm very grateful for that as well. I then decided to publish a couple of papers with some professors in my university with AI and the built environment, which was really interesting, and then I focused my thesis on healthcare and AI. So then I decided to do a master's in AI in the University of Edinburgh. Gladly, I got the DeepMind scholarship in order to help me fund through my studies and get mentorship. And so that's where I really got in deep into the AI world.
Okay, so what was the first thing that you built that made you feel like, okay, I can actually do this?
That's an interesting question. So my friends, I was the only Spanish person in undergrad. Most of them were Scottish or English. I think they were Scottish actually. And they always used to make fun of how many noises I made. Like Spanish people do a lot, or oops, or just like loads of things. So I decided one afternoon to build Maria's soundboard, and where I recorded myself doing all of these little noises, and my friends could press them and hear them all the time.
Like on iCarly with the little sound effects.
So that was my first project that I just built in an evening. It was really fun.
Cool. Now that you're working with founders in recruiting, which is a very specific world, we're actually in the office right now. What made you interested in kind of going down this path?
I got recruited by Entrepreneurs First myself around 4 years ago, and they sparked my interest in startups. I had never really thought that I could go into founding, but I started attending more events. There was a thing called Saturday Club, where people who are working but want to build something on the side can come to the office on Saturdays, meet a potential co-founder, and then start building something. And then through doing that, I realized, okay, this is actually something I want to do full time. I don't want to do this just on the weekends. And so I decided to quit my job, which I loved, by the way. I had the time of my life through working at 𝐿𝐼𝐼. I met really incredible people, really smart and really ambitious, but I wanted to work for myself. I was just thinking, why am I working so much for someone who's not me? And so I quit my job, applied to 𝐒𝐓, and then did the cohort. Really enjoyed it. I think what I enjoyed the most was the part where I get to meet such exceptional people. When you're studying or through your career, you can see very clearly who are the most exceptional people, and if you're in that group, then that's it. But when you start working in other places, or you come to 𝐒𝐓 and you meet all of the exceptional people from all of the different clusters around the world, it's just a 10x multiplier of what you can learn with the people in that room. And I think that's what really caught my attention, and I decided, actually, I may want to found in the future, but for the moment I want to stay here, keep meeting those people, and keep helping them to start their own companies.
And how does being technical kind of change the way you evaluate candidates or founders here?
That's a great question. It helps a lot, but at the same time, yes, we want to find the most exceptional builders out there, people who build end-to-end, who have deployed systems that have affected millions of users in very big companies or even small companies. But you also want to find someone who has the discipline, the grit, the perseverance to actually work through the ups and downs, because during a startup, while building a startup, there will be loads of downs, and you can't just have someone who's always succeeded. You kind of want someone who's gonna thrive in unstructured environments and who's gonna find the way to hustle, how to get something done. So it's not necessarily a requirement to be the best technical person ever. Yeah. It's more like behaviorally, how are you, and why are you the person to build a company? Also, are you going to be able to lead a team of engineers? But a book that I really enjoyed that helped me learn how to evaluate technical people was actually the book Talent by 𝐒𝐓𝐄𝐒. It helps you with basically accepting the fact that you don't need the best engineer to found a startup. You just need someone who's going to lead a team of engineers, work really hard, and just always be there and come up with fast, scrappy solutions that will fix whatever your customers want for tomorrow.
Yeah. And then what would you say that founders get wrong about the hiring process? Like, what do you think that they're kind of missing?
Founders, usually what they get wrong about the hiring, I would say they start hiring a bit too early sometimes. As a startup, the most likely thing that's going to happen is that you're going to raise a little bit of money, and then you're going to serve some customers. Hopefully someone pays you. And some people think that they need to build the entire process before they even serve one customer. That's wrong. You do not need to hire in order to help you build. You need to figure out what the real MVP, the minimum viable product, is for that client to get them to pay you. And then when you're absolutely loaded, that you have no time at all to build, and your customers are using your product and they're complaining about everything, then maybe you should start hiring. Right. And even then, it's really hard for them to know exactly what to hire if they haven't had experience building us, because they're usually quite young people. Either they've like led a society and interviewed people for that society, or they've had some kind of experience. Otherwise, it's really hard for them to choose. So we always tell them, especially at the earliest stages, to go for someone that they already know, like people that you've worked with, because otherwise it just takes so long. You do not have time. You should be overloaded and overwhelmed by the time you start hiring. And I think that's what they get wrong mostly.
So something we haven't talked about yet, we know you studied AI in your master's, which feels very relevant now. I'd be interested to know, I mean, did you expect AI to become this mainstream?
No, I guess I always knew it was going to be a big thing, because even before I selected what I wanted to study, I used to go to see how much do people earn after they study computer science in Silicon Valley, and it was like $500,000. Well, that didn't happen for me, but I guess I always knew I was going to make a lot of money as a software engineer, and that was it. That's the reason why I chose it. But it makes sense that it became so mainstream, because the AI has been going on for many years, even before we were born. And the time it takes to do research and train models, it has just exponentially grown. And previously, what took 10 years with the hardware that they use now takes, I don't know, a week. And it just makes sense that we are able to serve that to basically everyone right now who has access to the internet. But I never realized it would affect absolutely everyone's lives.
What would you say, what AI trend is something you're excited about right now?
Ooh, I'm very excited about reinforcement learning. I think we will reach a point where just throwing more money at LLMs isn't gonna make it. I think they're good. We just need something else to keep them going, or world models to really understand how the world works and be able to, I don't know, make predictions, taking many things into account. I think those might be really interesting.
I guess I'd love to hear kind of what AI tools you're currently using day to day.
So for my job as a talent investor at Entrepreneurs First, I use ChatGPT on a daily basis just to help me write paragraphs and polish my messages. I also use Perplexity to research stuff when I want to know more about a person, or I want to know more about a topic. I also use, I forgot the name, but there's many different tools online where if I meet a team of founders that are working on a topic that I don't know about, I don't want to be useless. And so I spend some time learning about that topic, and I use loads of tools for that. I also use Cursor a lot, or Codex on VS Code to build my apps. I use Lovable to build my apps. And what else do I use? Maybe not AI, but I use the Shortcuts app on my iPhone a lot to automate stuff. For example, well, you know this because we're friends, but I build an automation that reminds people every single day that they have to do something. And I'm the most annoying person on WhatsApp. Or for example, before I used to have an automation that would say good morning to my mom every time I turn my alarm off. And it's not AI, people might think it is, but people don't use it enough. And I think it's really powerful. It's just understanding how things work and just being creative about what you can build. It's more important than what AI tools you use.
When it comes to AI replacing developers, what are your kind of thoughts on that, and now or in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the most junior ones. I
Yeah.
think it's quite important to learn how to use these tools
Yeah.
rather than get better than them, because sadly you just can't. Your brain does not have the processing power that an AI does.
Yeah.
And so I do think that it's going to replace people, but I do think that other opportunities will come up. And I still think that it would just simply allow those developers to be a little bit more creative than they were, and even a bit more ambitious, and think, what exactly can I build, rather than, can I build this?
Yeah.
And I think that's the way to go.
Great. Okay, now for the final main section of this interview, I'd love to talk about women in STEM, finally. Woo! I guess I'd like to start off with, I mean, have you ever felt outnumbered in any situation when it comes to being women in the field?
Always.
Yeah.
I never felt left alone, but definitely outnumbered. But I had a really good experience with everyone I've met through my career. Everyone has been super supportive. No one made me feel like I was smaller than them. So yeah, sadly, that is a reality. I was pretty much the only girl in my high school studying physics and further maths and all of these, and computer science. Not the only one, but you know. And then during my undergrad, I had one female friend. During my master's, I think I was the only one in my group of friends.
Yeah.
But I still found people that helped me so much and made me want to learn more and be more curious. And now at 𝐒𝐓, I really try to push females to be the most ambitious version of themselves.
Yeah.
Especially because I meet a lot of young people who are recent grads, who are 21-year-olds, and I speak to them and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna build a startup, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna help so many people. And then I speak to women and they're like, no, first I need to learn how to do this, and first I need to see how other people do it. And no 21-year-old man has ever told me I'm not ready to build a startup.
Yeah.
But it's not the same with females. And so I'm really working hard to do a lot of events at 𝐒𝐓 where I teach them how to start a startup and kind of put them next to people who have built previous startups. With our founders, we do loads of combined dinners for them to realize that they are ready. You're never going to learn how to build a startup just by looking at how someone does it.
Yeah.
The only way you learn is by doing and failing. And you're going to fail multiple times. But this is the same for men and women. And it just happens, and you just have to keep going. And so I'm really, really focusing my efforts. We're doing a lot at 𝐒𝐓, not just me, but all of the talent investors are doing a lot. We're doing female poker nights. We're doing company building workshops. We're doing dinners with previous founders, and just help build a community where everyone supports each other and we're all women.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Have you ever had imposter syndrome while building?
Always have, always do. I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you just have to embrace. If you don't have imposter syndrome, then you're never going to want to learn something new. I feel like throughout my undergrad doing computer science, after 2 years, I felt like I could build absolutely anything. I knew how to do everything. And throughout my third and fourth, I realized that the more you know, the more you know that you don't know. Software engineers is just such a quickly advancing topic that you're just never going to be on top of everything. And imposter syndrome is always going to be there, and it's totally fine.
Now we're just doing a little bit of an extra segment, rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I'm just going to quickly ask you one or the other. Just answer as fast as you can, I guess. Stage startup or established company?
Stage startup, you learn so much more.
Front end or back end?
Back end.
Coffee or tea while working?
Coffee, like 5 of them.
Mac or Windows?
Mac, always.
Building solo or with a team?
Solo, actually.
Favorite tool right now?
Claude.
Most chaotic project you've ever worked on? You can take a sec.
My master's thesis.
And I guess that's it for the round, but last question, what are you most excited about right now?
I'm most excited about meeting early people in their careers who are very ambitious.
We see you possibly going to San Francisco anytime soon?
Yes, I'll be there for April's demo day at Entrepreneurs First.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Hope you guys learned a lot about founding, building, and everything about women in STEM. Woo! Thank you.